Hello and welcome to revision classes on television. Today, we will be having a session in English language. Our guide is Ruth Apuru, and our focus today is speech writing.
Speech writing. As you are aware, in your first part of your SSC, writing is part of it. And speech writing is one of the areas you'll be examined to see how you'll be able to express yourself using the medium of English language. And so, you bear this in mind that essay writing or composition forms first part of your essay. Today, like I've said, we shall be discussing or answering what speech is all about and taking some questions, to apply some of the features. Now, what is speech? Simply put, a speech is a formal or an official verbal presentation that is meant to achieve a goal. That is to convince your audience to key into or buy your idea and to pay utmost attention to your subject of discussion. Your write-up should be well presented. For example, 1. Under content, you'll be examined. What does it take under content? Speech is a written material meant to be spoken to a group of listeners. Since it is so, the speech must be written in a form suitable for reading aloud. Speeches are meant to entertain, educate, to inform. They are also written to motivate people to action. We have welcome and farewell speeches or addresses. And take this into cognizance that in your speech, you have the address. Speech can be address or keynote address. Either speech, address, or keynote address. It means one thing. And so don't be confused when you come across such a question. Under organization, the heading is very important because it's like somebody standing up to do something. You have something in mind to do. And so, your speech, there must be a heading. Now, the heading, this should be clearly written, indicating the mark of identification as follows. For instance, you have an address of welcome or a welcome address. An address of welcome or a welcome address, meaning the same thing. Name of the speaker, the title of the speaker, the occasion, place, date, and time. Very important. Here is an example. A farewell speech delivered by Mrs. Aziz Peters, the head of section of English, Federal Government Boys College, Abuja, on the send-off party of Mr. Abu Isaac, the principal of the college, at the Assembly Hall on the 22nd of April 2021 at 2 p.m. Now, the second thing to do is salutation. You use appropriate greeting for the audience. The names of the people to be recognized are written out in the order of their status or importance. Each keyword is written in capital letter. For instance, each key letter in keyword or the beginning of the keyword. For instance, we have the chairman. The C of the chairman is capital letter. The principal, the P is capital letter. That is the principal that is going on retirement. Vice principal, the V and P, HODs, teaching and non-teaching staff, parents, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen. The third thing to do is your introduction. This must be interesting and captivating so as to evoke the interest of the listener. The first thing to do is to express your gratitude for being given the opportunity to deliver the speech or to vindicate your great opportunity given to you or great pleasure that is given to you in making the speech. Next, you announce the topic of the speech. Brevity holds sway in no small way here. What I mean by brevity is you just have to be brief. You don't have to spend the whole time, talking about this. An example of the first part of the introduction is given here. For instance, it gives me a great pleasure. You can begin that way. Secondly, you can have, I have been asked by the school authority to, and then you give the topic. I feel honored to, and then you continue. Or, I feel privileged to have been requested to give this speech. Examples of second part of the introduction. Here is a suggested one. I have come here, or I am standing here to deliver a farewell speech or address in honor of the school principal who is going on retirement. Another example is, my speech is on the role of media in education. Now, this hinges on what the speech is all about. What I mean is, your introduction hinges on the title of your speech. Now, talking about the body. All of this we are talking about under organization, the body now. Body of the speech, proper paragraphing and effective linking of ideas is quite expected here. Paragraphs should be logically presented, and only a point should be logically presented and discussed in each paragraph. Note that we are using at least 3 reasons or points to express yourself. Now, coming to expression, formal vocabulary and expressions should be used. Your expression should be cogent to your audience. Slang, vulgar and dirty expressions must be avoided. Your speech should be written with the first person pronoun, I. Your speech, where possible, introduce very short stories and humor in the speech. This will carry your audience along and make them more involved. Usage of emotive language is encouraged, but do not overuse it. Now, mechanical accuracy, tenses, punctuations, and so on and so forth, or grammar will be thoroughly examined. After all, your mistakes is what the examiner is out for. Now, having freshened our memories on the features of speech, we have sampled questions drawn from 2015 to 2019 for us to apply the features to. 1. Your principal is due for retirement at the end of the academic year. As the senior prefect, write a speech which you would deliver to honor him or her at a send-off party. 2. As one of the outgoing prefects in your school, write a speech you would deliver at the send-off ceremony for prefects on the topic, the challenges of prefectship. 3. As the senior prefect of your college, your principal has requested that you give a farewell speech on the day of the send-off party for 2 of your teachers who are leaving your college. Write your speech. And bear in mind that you are going to use at least 450 words to express yourself. Now, having done that, let's see how we go with question 1. Here I have suggested reasons for you to apply to this question. 1. Prizes 1. Prizes 1. Educational excellence. Standby generator or inverter. Exemplary lifestyle. School population. Then you give farewell or goodwill messages. Talking about the judicious use of pension, fruition of his labor, either biological or otherwise. How to be more fruitful at retirement. Long life to enjoy the fruit of his labor. He will not sow and another reaps. Now, here are some steps to take. The first step here is the heading. An example is suggested. Speech delivered by Miss Splendor Andy, the senior prefect, on the occasion of the retirement of the principal in the person of Mgbede Uga Otondo on the 18th of April 2021 at the Assembly Hall, Higher Heights College, Genoa, Kogi. 2. You talk about salutation. The chairman, the principal that is retiring, vice principals, HODs, teaching and non-teaching staff, parents, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen. Here also is a suggested example of your introduction. It is a great opportunity for me and the Splendor, the senior prefect of this great school, to address you or deliver a speech on this important occasion of our beloved principal and father in the person of Mr. Mgbede on his retirement. Truly, the adage that a journey of 1,000 miles begins only with a step. The journey of 45 years for Mr. Mgbede has come to an end today. That could be your introduction. Now, talking about the body. Talk about not only that he started and made it this way. You can talk about the following. Some must have fallen by the wayside, while others would have gone to the great beyond. Mention few of his achievements. For instance, prizes, educational excellence, standby generator, an inverter, and exemplary life, just like we have mentioned before. Then send your goodwill messages, talking about the judicious use of his pension, that he will not spend his pension on sickness. He will reap the labor of his hands, and that he will be more fruitful on his retirement. Then you go to your conclusion, which is, on behalf of this great college, I wish you a happy retirement. Andy Splendor. Question 2 is, as one of the outgoing prefects in your school, write a speech you would deliver at the send-off ceremony for prefects on the topic, the challenges of prefectship. Now, we have some reasons here. Reasons or points with which you will express yourself. Harmony of academic work and school duties. Discipline, punctuality and neatness. A charge to keep. A fight to fight on. Exemplary lifestyle. Tolerance. Now, what are the demands of this question? The first thing to do here is the heading. There is also a suggested example. For instance, speech delivered by Mr. Oyale Adakole, the senior prefect of Sound Mind Academy, Iga Opaya, on the send-off ceremony for prefects on the 20th April 2021 at the college multipurpose hall at 2 p.m. 2. You go to your salutation. The principal, vice principals, HODs, HOSs, teaching and non-teaching staff, parents, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen. Introduction. Also, there is a suggested one here. I feel highly privileged and delighted to have been requested to give this speech on behalf of the outgoing prefects for the 2021 session on the topic, challenges of prefectship. Another paragraph. Permit me to undersee who a prefect is and what a challenge is. The two key words in the speech. A prefect is a student the school authority has appointed to take charge or control other students, including his or her classmates. A challenge, on the other hand, is a difficulty encountered in the discharge of duties or an assignment. In view of this, let me briefly highlight some of the challenges of prefectship in the secondary school system. Another paragraph. One of the grievous challenges faced by a prefect is the ability to harmonize academic and school activities without lopsidedness. No area must suffer. The academic nor other activities must not suffer. Now give examples of how a prefect will be able to combine the academic work and other duties that is learning on him. Example, there is no special lesson for prefects. Both prefects and ordinary students undergo same lesson periods. They have to be more apt. The prefect can be called out of the class at any time to attend to one thing or the other. Further challenge faced by a prefect is that of discipline. A high sense of discipline dawns on a student instantly when that responsibility is given. You can give examples. Then talk about punctuality and neatness. As a prefect, one has become a role model both to one's classmates and others, as if prefects breathe different air. And you can still give example. One is being reminded almost everywhere in the school with phrases such as a prefect, being a prefect, as if a prefect has become an angel and must be perfect in all wise. As prefects, there's always a charge to keep. Talk about how exemplary a prefect should be. You can give example of tolerance. That tolerance is a great virtue, never to be treated or held with levity. Otherwise, the prefect can unconsciously throw in the towel and give up. I do hope that we will meet again at a higher level in the nearest future. That's the conclusion. Question 3 is, as a senior prefect of your college, your principal has requested that you give a farewell speech on the day of the send-off party for 2 of your teachers who are leaving your college. Write your speech. The first thing to do is your heading. Now, after your heading, I have a suggested heading here. Speech by Daniel Hippolyte, the senior prefect of arrows in his quiver college, Eche, on the send-off party of two members of staff on the 18th of May 2028 at the college conference hall at 3 p.m. Now, your salutation. The principal, members of staff, outgoing teachers, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen. Introduction. I feel privileged to have been requested by the principal of this great college to give this speech. I welcome you all to this occasion as we send off our members of staff, Mr. Philip Ede and Miss Perfection Ilya. They both have been of great help to the school as they helped to curb indiscipline in the college. Mr. Ede, born on the 25th of May 1970, completed his primary and secondary education in the middle belt of this country. He later went to the United States of America, where he studied industrial mathematics in one of the best universities, a year later after his secondary school education. He spent a few years there after graduation and decided to come back to his fatherland, Nigeria. He was a hot cake, and so he rendered good services to several organizations before coming to this great college in 2010, to the school as the final year students in 2010, and he really gave students the best. His hard work brought no small honor to the school as the final year students of that session had the best result in mathematics in the Federation. This earned him a promotion as the head of the Department of Mathematics of the college from that year until now. Talk about what he has done, how he had stopped some bad habits, and so on and so forth. Then come briefly talk about the second staff. Miss Perfection, an English teacher or a teacher of English from Benue State University, is another person to be reckoned with and be remembered always by the students. Perfection gave her best to the students. Consequently, she was made the matron of the press and debate club of the school. Her availability during competitions helped the students to be well equipped. Hence, they always come back victorious. The result of her hard work lifted the image of the school tremendously, thereby increasing the population of the school. She was ever ready to give lectures to students, even after school, and in fact, during holidays. An example that remains ever fresh in my memory was when Peter and I met her in a mall with a question. She took us into her car and explained things to us. A gem indeed. The school will miss you, ma. These two members of staff, having talked briefly on both staff, you can bring your write-up to a conclusion talking about the two of them. These two members of staff were of great help to the school as they helped to train students academically, morally, and otherwise. In view of this, the school has agreed to give them a befitting send-off. It is my hope that their absence in the college will not bring discouragement to the students, but rather will make ample use of the skills, discipline, knowledge, and all they have acquired from these amiable members of staff. The students and the school as a whole wish them happy stay wherever they will be. You both will live to partake of the labors of your hands. Mr. Philip Ede and Miss Perfection, thank you for a job well done. May the Almighty God bless you indeed. You have cast your bread upon the waters. You will definitely see it after many years. For the audience, thank you for honoring our invitation to this send-off party. God's protection and guidance is my wish for all of you. May this great school continue to go higher and higher. In fact, the sky is the starting point for us all.
You can subscribe to NTA series on YouTube to watch or download past episodes of revision classes on television. That's the much we can take on the program today. Do join us next time for another educating session.